Well, hello and welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina, and today we're going to be talking about 2022 trends that are here to stay because we're nearing the end of the year, and I think right now is the perfect time to be chatting about trends that you can still invest in 2022, and that way when 2023 arrives, and hopefully even beyond that, these are things that you won't regret buying. These are trends that will really help you build out a home that you're going to love, and over time, it's going to save you a lot of money. Some of you are probably already noticing I have new doors, so that's why we're sitting this way, because I wanted you guys to see my new doors for my office and the front. So make sure you hit subscribe. We're going to be doing a full exterior makeover of our home, and we're going to be sharing that with you. Plus, we've got a lot of our clients' projects coming up, so hit subscribe. We've almost hit 300,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So thank you so much to every one of you that has subscribed. But make sure you share us with your family and friends, get the word out, and help us grow the channel and help us to grow our amazing community of design enthusiasts. I just love that. I love it. So yes, thank you so much, and let's jump into today's video. Cheers. Louie's kind of crowding my seat here, but he's just so cute. I can't be mad at him. What trends in 2022 are sticking around? That's a great question, and one that I'm excited about is a neutral color palette. You guys know we've given you our own palette for House of Valentina. I'll add it again down in the show notes if you haven't had a chance to download it. It's just a little free PDF, and it's got our color palette and the paint colors and things that we also use in our own home and in our projects. So I'll leave all that down below for you, but we love a neutral palette. I just love designing in a neutral palette. I feel like it helps everything to feel more sophisticated. I feel like it just makes everything feel really warm and inviting. I love layering on textures and layering on lots of neutrals and not having it to be too monotone. It's more budget friendly because you can buy, it's almost like the capsule wardrobe thing. If you guys have heard a lot about the capsule wardrobe and how you can take a few basic pieces and really mix and match them in so many different ways, that's how I feel about the home and these neutral palettes. When you buy vases and blankets and pillows and all your accessories and neutrals, you're able to mix and match them. I think that a neutral palette is also very calming, and I think that's why it's here to stay. We've all been through, globally, something quite traumatic, and it's something that's really stressed a lot of us out, honestly. And I think that a calm, serene environment helps a lot of us to feel calm in our home. It helps us to feel calm in life. And so that's why I think neutral palette, it's here to stay. So if you haven't jumped on the neutral color palette bandwagon, some of the things to think about: some warmer whites on the walls, layering on great blankets. I've got one here that Louie is testing out for us here. This is a beautiful cashmere that I found on Amazon. I think layering on really nice neutral fabrics like the wool, cashmere, you can use Sherpas, and you can really play with that palette and just keep layering and layering. I also love to add some pillows to keep a lot of softness, and this is how to have a neutral palette that still feels calming and inviting. Green is going nowhere. Green is here to stay. It's just here to stay. And I'm like, oh, at the moment I have no green behind me. It's because I'm showing off my doors instead of showing off the whole room. But I do actually really love to have green in my own home. I bring green in rather than painting the walls in green. I use a lot of green through bringing in a lot of plants and trees. I bring in a lot of foliage into my home, and this is how I really like to bring green in. But green has been really in fashion. Bottega Veneta has brought green into basically everything, and their green is just iconic, and I've seen that color everywhere online, and I really think that we're going to be seeing a lot more green. It's just gonna stay because green obviously pulls from nature, and it makes us feel connected to nature. It also makes us feel, I think it just brings a little bit of life into your space. So whether you want to paint your walls or you want to bring in some greenery, I don't usually bring in green accessories, although you could. I was noticing that CB2 released their new fall releases, and there was green on everything. So I don't think green's gonna be going anywhere, and I think you can play with green as a palette itself. And don't worry so much about which color green is on trend. Worry about what works in your home with your aesthetic and it feels the best to you. And that's how you build a home that you'll really love year after year. Bringing the outdoors in isn't really a new thing. That's kind of something that's just an integral part of design itself. It's about using what is around you, what's available. Yeah, I just think that it's not new. However, what I think is really new, and I think that what's not gonna go away, is this idea of being connected to nature. The idea of having really big windows, bigger doors. I just did it myself. I used to have a door that was solid here with the little side lights. I want more light in here. I can't believe the difference it's made in our home. I keep walking out of my bedroom and looking over at these doors and I am in awe. I think that we really do want to be more connected to outside, to nature itself. And so you're gonna see big projects, big ways of things that we can do when we're building our homes that will connect us more to nature. We'll bring in more natural materials into our home. But if you're looking for an easy way to do it, our video sponsor for today is Decenio, and they have actually hooked us up with some really great artwork. And I think that this is actually a really easy way of bringing nature into your home. I just recently got some new prints in from them, and I absolutely love them. Decenio is one of my ride or die go-to sources for artwork. Their photography section, I love their abstracts. I literally just finished doing our big installation for Ty Pennington. Stay tuned. Decenio hooked us up in so many ways, and I was able to use that artwork by big walls, small little moments. That's what makes Decenio so amazing. They sell beautiful frames. I bought the matting on these because I think that adding matting makes it feel just a little bit more elevated, and it makes your print just feel just a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more artful. And so this time around I went really heavy on the matting, and I thought that that just made those prints just look even better. This time around I was really craving something that really brought nature into my home, but I wanted to do it in a little bit more of a creative way. So I love their prints that are really big art pieces, but they are kind of zoomed in on something that's really natural. And so it's giving me a huge effect in my space, but it really is bringing nature in. So this is an affordable way to be able to bring nature into your space. And so whether you're wanting to bring nature in or you want to have something that's got a bit of a punch, if you're wanting lots of color, whatever it is that you're really on the hunt for, Decenio will absolutely hook you up. I have no doubt whatsoever. Decenio's actually hooked me up with a discount code. You guys know I love to be able to share these discounts with you so that it can be more affordable for you. I mean, Decenio is already affordable. Decenio is already outrageously affordable, but with the discount code, it's just that much of a sweeter deal. So go to Decenio.com and use the code House of Valentina for 45% off of prints. That excludes personalized prints, but otherwise, you have got such a selection. You're gonna love it. Decenio is such a great resource. I know that you guys will love it, so make sure you check out my discount code and the link down in the show notes. Timeless style. Timeless style is something that I feel like there's been a lot of focus pushed back to. It's not that timeless style ever went out. Timeless style really isn't gonna be something that goes in or out necessarily, but I feel like on social media, we're seeing a lot more of a timeless style represented, and it's something that I have found myself gravitating towards a lot. I'm really trying to purchase things that I will want for a very long time, rather than just constantly trying to buy super trendy items. And so I'm all in for this. I absolutely love it. I think timeless style, what does that even mean? How do you even create a timeless style? I think buying beautiful timeless pieces, like a really great coffee table that isn't too trendy. I love coffee tables made in wood. I love them when they have a clean line to them. I think clean lined items they just seem to always wear really well. Things that don't have too many curves. Rounded shapes have been super in as well. I feel like that's something that's gonna be around for a while. It's not gonna be here today and gone tomorrow. However, a clean line on your sofa, on your chairs, and your main pieces of furniture, when you go with that more timeless, classic, streamlined look, I feel like that's gonna be a lot more lasting than something that's just super hyper curved. It's like ultra contemporary. Think about whether you will want it a year from now. Think about whether you're gonna want it 5 years from now. is it something you'll want for the rest of your life? Because that to me is what timeless style is all about. Texture and depth are going nowhere. That has been so in. I've already alluded to the boucle, but oh my goodness, Sherpa was just so in, and I love it. I do feel like I don't really go for like Sherpa on upholstery because I feel like it's gonna get matted. And that's not something that would be very timeless. And so again, it's like a little too trendy for me. But I do think that Sherpa blankets, I think that Sherpa pillows, boucle is actually very similar to Sherpa, but it's really, really durable. So that's the route that I went. I've got Sherpa chairs and pillows. I just absolutely love it. I feel like texture is really popular, and why it's just gotten a lot of attention is because we're looking for that cozy factor, and that's what texture really does. It adds an approachability to your space, and it makes it feel really cozy. And so after the last little bit of time that we have had, I think we all just need a little bit of cozy still in our homes, even if we're building something that is more luxurious and elevated. Adding wood to your space, whether it's through a beautiful bowl, through cutting boards, a wood coffee table or a side table is a great way of doing that. Adding a vase that has a lot of texture is something that I really love to do. I think that there's so many different ones out there. I just bought a whole bunch from Amazon and I'm going crazy over them. I'll show you one real fast. I have an obsession with this Zentique brand. They sell the most amazing and authentic pieces, and yet they are still really affordable, and they're sold on Amazon. And the other ones are a lot bigger than this. I bought new ones of ones that I already have. Oh goodness, are you sleepy? But I just love adding texture like this. I think a vase like this it really is timeless. And I think because it's more focused on an antiquities kind of look to it rather than a vintage, or like a lot of times I think that when we buy something that's from a recent decade, then it maybe feels like it just kind of comes in and out. But something that was around centuries ago and it kind of mimics that look, I feel like that's really timeless, and that's just never gonna go away. Luxury. Wow, that's a really good one, because luxury is something that I think a lot of us have been talking about a lot on YouTube. I see a lot of videos talking about luxury, whether it's in fashion, whether it's in the home. Luxury has really been having its moment. And you guys know one of my passions is luxury on a budget, because I really feel like the true definition of luxury is having something that makes you feel pampered and makes you feel really good. It's about being surrounded by things that you love, things that you cherish. That to me is a true definition of luxury. It's not about a price tag. It's about the way that you feel in your space and the way that you're able to live your life. It's really about that art of living. To me, that is the true definition of luxury. So I think that luxury is something that we're just gonna always have. I don't think that this is, even though it has really been having a moment where a lot of people are talking about it, it's just never really gonna go away. Because I really think that as humans, we realize that we need to be surrounded by things that help us to feel like it's the best day ever. Every day, if possible. We need those things in our lives. I think it's good for our soul. I'm getting deep, people. This is what happens when we start talking about this stuff. I get so passionate. I can't help it. Meanwhile, Louie's just like hanging out. That's okay, Louie. I understand that you don't get super passionate about this, but I do. I just think that when you have a cozy blanket, when you sit in a chair that's really comfortable and it just makes you feel really sophisticated and elevated, and it's just these elevated moments in life. So I really like to have a very clean line look paired with that luxury feel to it. That's my personal style, but luxury really is about you. It's about discovering yourself and creating a home around yourself that pampers you. Rounded furniture, as I already talked about, has been here for, I would say would you say it's been about 2 years that rounded furniture just like puked on every single home decor site out there, every store, every interior designer, rounded pretty much everything actually. It's not just rounded furniture, it's rounded walls, rounded furniture, rounded sculptures, rounded everything. The round shape has just been like crazy in, and I love it. I love how something that's rounded can really add a lot of flow into a space. I've got rounded chairs. I love them. I love a rounded back chair. But we've been seeing rounded coffee tables a lot. That's just been crazy in, and the rounded sofas. Once I saw that RH kind of jumped on it, because they're really about timeless design. Once they started to jump on it, it's like, okay, yeah, this is really here to stay. And it really does feel very luxurious. I don't know. It's something about the sinuous kind of rounded shape. There's something very sensual about it. And that's why I think it's not going to go anywhere. Will it be around forever? That's a good question. I think that the way that you do it will determine whether it's too trendy or not. So if you look at RH, I think that's a great example of how those are items that are rounded, but they're not super trendy. Because that's the focus of RH. They want you to buy something that you have for the rest of your life, and you pass it down to your kids and your grandkids, and it's a forever piece. That's really the focus that they have. So I think that the way in which they do rounded furniture is a really good example of how to do it in a timeless way. That doesn't mean that you have to only buy from RH. You can take a lot of inspiration from them and then look at places like CB2. That's where I've gotten my chairs. I love them, and I think they're beautiful. I think that you can also look at rounded coffee tables. That's such a good way of adding flow to your space. Rounded side tables. If you're wanting to jump on this trend and you haven't yet, a little side table, at the moment, I need to grab it. I've got a really pretty little side table that I have normally here. We've been moving things in and out like crazy lately with all the installations we have going on. So our house is like God, it's like calm before the storm, calm after the storm, and calm before the next one, but it's a little nuts. But yeah, I normally have like a little round drink table sitting here, and I like to have those kinds of pieces because that rounded shape just is really nice. I also have the rounded spheres, and I'm obsessed with those. I just bought 3 more sets of them. I've put them into every project recently. I think that they look amazing. So they add a little bit of sculpture, a little bit of sophistication. I think they look awesome. And that's why I don't think the rounded trend is going anywhere. I think that mindful spaces is something that kind of goes back to that idea of luxury, but I think that mindful spaces aren't going anywhere. I think we've all realized after everything that's been going on that we need places inside of our home that restore us. So whether that's the kitchen, whether that's a place where you go to read, whether it's a place where you go to work out, whether it's a place that you go to meditate, if you love to watch movies, it's all like whatever it is that you just really enjoy, that trend is going nowhere. And I think that contractors are going to be staying busy because we've realized that we need those spaces at home. So even if you don't have, honestly, the biggest problem right now is actually getting a contractor to actually come and give you quotes and get work done. So even if you have all the money in the world, if you want something that's a quick and easy way of doing this, I think that creating mindful spaces in your home, you can do it just with even what you already have. Carve out a little corner of your home. I do that in my bedroom. I've got a little corner where I have my chair and I have my little lamp, and I have the drink table, and it's just my space where I'm able to restore myself, and I really utilize that space. And so whatever it is that really restores your soul, create a space like that for yourself. Next up is hobby spaces, and I think that's interesting because when you think about mindful spaces, these are spaces that are meant to restore you. Like the bathtub is another great example of a mindful space. But I think that the trend of having hobby spaces is actually going to be sticking around for a lot longer. I think in the past, we went out to do a lot of our hobbies. We left home. And when we found ourselves locked down in our houses and we needed to entertain ourselves at home, we started to carve out hobby areas of our home. We've installed virtual golf rooms. We've done workout rooms. We've done pools. We've done all kinds of craft spaces. It's whatever your hobbies are. I just think that you should just have those in your home. These kind of hobby spaces are going nowhere. It's something that we just really want to have in our homes. And I think that it's going to be a while before we want to go back out into doing everything outside the home. A lot of us are ready to escape, and go and travel, but we still want to be able to come home and to do a lot of those activities in our own homes. Finally, we have the contemporary trend, and I feel like contemporary really, I feel like for a while everything was, oh baby, you're so cuddly. You're just so cuddly and cute. Yeah. I feel like I feel like for a while, everything was really pushing towards the sort of farmhouse look. We had like a rustic farmhouse, and then we moved to a modern farmhouse, and then we moved to, dude, you can't put your parts on the internet. I have to cover you up. We can't have that on the internet. Well, I think that contemporary design is something that really came out. Contemporary design has always been around because contemporary design is all about being forward facing and about something new and fresh. It's about reinventing. It's about wanting something that hasn't been experienced before. And it's always been around, but we put a label on it. And when the pandemic was going on, a lot of people went back to apple pie and feel good, old times, I don't know. And then there was a whole group of people that were like, let's face the future. And I think that's where contemporary design really comes from, is that we really want something that's forward facing. It's something new and fresh. When RH came out with their contemporary source book, it was like, oh, this is amazing. Finally, this is really having its moment where contemporary design is no longer this idea of Miami Vice. I always think of Todd and Margot on Christmas Vacation. Maybe you think of that as well. It's this sort of cold, contemporary, just, I don't know, just sort of a cruel idea of what design can be. I think there's a lot of warmth. I think there's a lot of adventure. There's a lot of, okay, put your booty down. Are you gonna sit back there now? Okay, you be still, silly boy. I think that contemporary design is all about looking towards I think it's all about looking towards invention and innovation and being excited about what comes next instead of being backwards facing about what has already been. And I think that's why contemporary design is something that we're going to be seeing a lot more of. Thank you so much for joining us. Louie and I are very excited that you guys stopped by to chat about design trends. And I think it's really exciting. I think it's really fun to talk about them. I know a lot of people seem to get upset about it, but I think trends tell us, it's kind of a litmus test actually of what's going on and what people are feeling and what people are wanting. And trends aren't always a bad thing. They really can be a learning tool. And so I hope that this has encouraged you. I hope that you'll, when you go to the store, that you'll be able to buy with confidence and you'll kind of know what you're looking for and things that maybe you should avoid, because you don't want to keep spending money on things that you just end up giving away or throwing out. That's never a way to really build a lasting home. So I hope you found today's video helpful. I hope that you will hit subscribe and stick around. Don't let it get lost out there in the World Wide Web. Make sure you hit subscribe so we can stay in touch with each other, and turn on the bell notifications because we have got more videos coming out. And also don't forget to check out that Decennial discount. I think you guys will absolutely love it, and it's really a great way to be able to very easily bring in some of these trends that we've talked about today and bring them to your walls. Coming up, it's trends that are going away. Ooh, I know. Okay, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out, and give the video a thumbs up. And let me know down in the comments which of these trends are ones that you are 100% on board for, and maybe if there's anything that you're just like, no. Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Also, let me know if there's something that's trending in your area, because you guys are literally coming from all over the world, and it's really exciting to hear about what you're drawn to, what's trending in your stores, and I love hearing about it. It's amazing. We can be a resource to each other and have a really great conversation. So write down below in the comment section and let us know. All right, thank you guys. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.